Hello and welcome to Washington Live. I'm your host, Todd Patterson. We are powered by KCTC. I forget that every time, Nick.
You've been doing better.
I've been doing better. At least I've been getting it in.
Yeah.
Nick Steffens, as always, is our producer, and our publisher is Matt Bryant. I'm thrilled to be joined today in the studio by Diane Rinner. We've just been chatting off camera a little bit. It's a very fascinating story, and I look forward to talking to you a little bit about your work. Diane is the, so let me get your title right here. You're the youth coordinator, youth outreach educator for the Iowa State University Extension and Outreach, Washington County. She's got a lot of experience as a teacher in the past, and I'm looking forward to hearing about your Mindfulness Families program that you're taking up. So we'll chat with her about that a little bit later. Should we do weather?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
cold.
February in Iowa.
Mm-hmm. I had to air my tires this morning, and I was cranky. Because, yeah.
Actually, it's quite mild. It's been an easy winter, and I should not
that is
wood.
true.
But right now it's 16 degrees, feels like 4, and partly cloudy.
Yeah. When Jay goes on spring break, we're going to go up to Minneapolis to see some friends, and it's the opposite of spring break weather. It's supposed to be like 30 degrees still, and so not the best spring break trip, but
I have in 2010 I went down to the Orange Bowl.
Oh, yeah?
Iowa played Georgia Tech in the Orange Bowl, and I took all Hawaiian shirts and shorts, and it ended up being the coldest Orange Bowl on record. It was 30 degrees, and they kept showing captions on the scoreboard that said it's colder in Miami. It was in I should say it was in Miami. It's colder in Miami than it was in Cedar Rapids at the time. So,
well, wasn't that January? Is that January 1st?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was right around there.
Yeah,
but still, it was Miami. I ran in from the airport parking lot into the terminal. Yeah, and because I'm not wearing jeans and all this heavy stuff and taking it on the plane, but I ended up having to buy stuff while I was down there. So. Let's do a quick police report. There's one that's kind of interesting, and then one I wanted to share more broadly. Caller reports an unknown white male subject who is possibly intoxicated walked into a residence. He's wearing a black sweatshirt and jeans, and he has one brown dress shoe and one sandal on.
We'll let you sit. That happened.
Haven't we all had those days, I
all
suppose.
had those days.
But also, do you remember the movie The Man with One Red Shoe with Tom Hanks?
I've heard of it.
Where he doesn't have the right shoes in the morning, so he puts one red shoe on and he walks through an airport and ends up picking up a tail by the CIA because they think he's some sort of spy because he did that. They tail him all over the place.
So maybe he's a spy.
But this is what we really want to show. So I live in Timber Ridge, as you know. We've got a little prowler who's been on the loose here. So I don't know. Are you showing the video right now?
Just
show it again. If anybody knows this gentleman, we would like to catch him, apprehend him. He's been trying to break into homes.
Let me see if I can rewind and get a good look of his.
All over in our neighborhood.
Try and get a good look at his face.
And yeah, I would also say to
where's
him,
the shoes? No, yeah, we can't get a good look at him.
Well, we've got some other videos of him in the street as well, but I would encourage him not to come back. And maybe not to come back any place in Washington.
Well, that's like the worst neighborhood to try and go and drop people.
Not a great one.
No.
Yeah. Especially now.
Yeah.
Now that we're all on alert. So if anybody has any information about that, please contact the police department. We'd be very interested in finding out more about that particular event. So why don't we go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back with our guest, Diane Rinner.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Hospice isn't a place, it's a type of care that focuses on living. Servicing a 7-county area, the Hospice of Washington County staff of nurses, social work, hospice aides, spiritual and grief support, volunteers, music and massage therapists are able to provide free end-of-life care where the patient lives. We write wills, give consent for organ donation, but rarely is there a plan for what we would want the final phase of our lives. At Hospice of Washington County, we encourage our patients to be in charge of their healthcare decisions while maintaining quality of life.
Family owned and operated by Andy and Sarah Ross, Ross Auto has been your vehicle repair and maintenance headquarters since 1935. We specialize in all makes of cars and light-duty trucks. With our variety of available services, let us help you keep rolling and your vehicle operating efficiently. Services include general auto repair, alignments, brakes, fuel injection, and more. Schedule your appointment today at 319-653-5656. That's 319-653-5656.
Hey, I mean, what do sea monsters eat? Fish and chips. Welcome back to Washington Live. I'm your host, Todd Patterson. Before we left for break, I neglected to talk about local events. So I will share, we have one event tomorrow that we wanted to share with you. Actually, I want to share two events. The Art of the Apron is at the Washington Public Library from 10 a.m. to noon. You can join Tammy Finley for some apron history, trivia, and more. Mm-hmm. And then tomorrow night, there's the Washington Keokuk Cattlemen's and Corn Growers and Soybeans Friends event.
Yes, it's called Field and Friends.
Field and Friends, which I think looks... my band is playing there, so Aces and Eights.
Yes.
I'm the drummer.
Yes.
We'll be starting there at 9, but I think there's stuff happening all day. Are you going?
I am going. It starts in the evening with a little bit of a social hour at 5, with a meal at 6, and then I think you guys are playing at 9?
9, yeah.
I think 9. Yes, it's going to be a full house. I do believe they have...
So do you buy tickets? Anybody can go kind of thing? Or?
You buy tickets. I'm not sure if there's still tickets available.
Okay.
That would be, you can contact a Washington County cattleman.
Okay.
Or Washington Keokuk County corn and soybean grower and see if there's still tickets available.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm looking forward to it. I always like to play. It would be interesting to see if there's too much time between the dinner and when we start playing.
Well, there's going to be some auctions.
There's a whole bunch of stuff in between.
There's some silent auctions, and then they're auctioning off some desserts, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be putting in some bids.
Oh, absolutely.
So I'm thrilled to be joined in the studio by Diane Rinner, who, as I mentioned, is the youth outreach educator for the Iowa State University Extension and Outreach Washington County. So, Diane, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being able to share about the... What was it called? The Friends and...
Field and Friends.
Field and Friends event tomorrow. So we were chatting a little bit before this started. You and I actually have kind of similar non-rural backgrounds. So
Absolutely,
yes. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you came from. And
Sure. So I was born and raised in Davenport, Iowa, and I graduated from Davenport North several years ago. If I say the year, then that will date me. So it's been a few years. And so I went to college at William Penn University in Oskaloosa, and I moved here to Washington, about 2001, and got a job at Stewart Elementary and worked there for 7 years. And during that time, I met my husband, who's a farmer, and so now I'm a farm wife as well. And so that was a challenge and different.
And you're a turkey farmer?
Yes. My husband and I raise turkeys just right outside of Washington here.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now.
Okay. So after teaching in the classroom for 18 years, and we had purchased the farm 4 years ago, a job came open at the extension office here in Washington County, and it was a youth outreach educator, and that job was mainly and it still is, to go into area classrooms and learn a little, or teach students about agriculture. and where their food, fuel, and fiber come from.
Okay.
And so currently, I'm in 60 classrooms every month, and I see over 1,000 students a month.
So I'm interested. What does your day look like doing that? So
Well, it can vary. Days that I'm at, say, Waco Elementary School, I'm in all different classrooms, pre-K through 6th grade. And I do different lessons based upon the subject that we're talking about
Okay.
for that month. So this month had been pork.
Okay.
Next month will be corn, and
Okay.
so we just do lessons about that. But say I'm in the classroom at Stewart and I'm doing all of kindergarten, it's the same exact lesson, and I teach it 5 times.
I'd actually be interested in some of that. Obviously some of these kids are going to go into farming or agriculture, but is it important to teach kids that aren't going into those careers that stuff too? I mean,
Well, it's very important for kids to know where their food comes from. They don't know where their food, fuel, and fiber come from. The average elementary age student is 3 generations removed from the farm. So
Right.
they haven't been on the farm for 3 generations, or most of the time, nor their parents or their grandparents. So they have no idea where their food comes from. And so what I do is I go in and teach them for them to know that their food just doesn't come from the grocery store. It starts at the farmer and rancher level.
yeah. And what is the importance of them knowing that? So
Well, they need to know because it helps them understand what goes into making their food. What are some of the ingredients in their food? This month we've been working on pork, and it's very funny for kids to find out that parts of a pig are in different items that they use daily.
Yeah.
Makeup, Jell-O, marshmallows, crayons, school glue. So it's just very fun for them to know that parts of a pig are one of the ingredients in those items.
So for you, somebody coming from a non-rural area, how did you sort of pick all this up? I mean, how do you know all this stuff?
Learning, a lot of learning, listening to my husband and his friends talk. And I will admit, when I first moved here to the area, because Davenport, yes, we live in Iowa, but Davenport's this big city. We don't have cornfields just right outside my front door like I do now. And so it was a culture shock, but a good culture shock, because it's been very fun over the last 20 years learning about agriculture.
Yeah, I have a similar background too, and the difference is you've learned, and I still am kind of struggling with it. Do you write the curriculum, or how do you get the?
Which is I do not, which is fantastic. What we have here in Iowa is what is called Iowa Ag Literacy Foundation. That was started, it was created in 2012. And so they gather all these lessons up that all other area coordinators or Ag in the Classroom coordinators can gather those lessons from. And those lessons are tied to Iowa Core. So it's perfect that we're able to go into classrooms and teach lessons and have classroom teachers be able to use some of those lessons and what I teach for
and
report cards.
And does it tie back to the importance of agriculture within the Iowa economy and our general culture?
Yes, it does. And that's where I put sometimes my little twist and spin on it, is I always make sure that I tie Iowa to every single lesson, whether it is jobs.
Yeah.
Because when I teach 5th and 6th grade, we really focus on the different jobs that you could have in agriculture that are not farmers and ranchers.
Right, that a lot of people probably don't know about, right?
Right. And
Yeah.
so that's what I concentrate on 5th and 6th graders. And then the lower grades, I just always make sure that they know a fact, like, where we are in, or how many pigs are in Washington County, or that we are Washington County is the number 1 for pork production, or that Iowa raises more corn than any other state. Those kinds of things is what I make sure that they...
And things to be very proud of.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So you have a Mindful Families program that's going to be kicking off in April.
Yes. Actually, we've been running it in January.
Oh, you have? Okay.
We're taking a month off for March,
Okay.
and then we're going to do it again in April.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about that program. Who's it aimed at? what are the goals of it? When does it occur?
Absolutely. So this is a program that's designed by Iowa 4-H, and this Healthy Living program is going to be held on Monday evenings in the month of April at the Extension office. And it is a 4-session, a 4-session series that includes practical, mindful strategies for adults and youth, and we are gearing it towards youth 4th through 8th grade. And to work together with their families on how to manage stress and the difficult emotions that come about as being a preteen and a teenager. And so these lessons are to help improve the overall well-being and relationships and performance in daily activities. And so we're hoping that kids and families can learn the mindfulness and be able to incorporate it in their family life.
So, we used to do a lot of mindfulness. I worked at the University of Iowa for 20 years, and there was a lot of mindfulness stuff there that, yoga, exercise.
Yep.
I mean, so those are kind of strategies that you're thinking about.
Yes.
And
guided imagery, positive affirmations. We have gratitude jars.
we have a swear jar.
Well, and this is the opposite. So this is just, trying to come up with one thing that I was grateful for the week and put it in the jar. And then maybe at the end of the year, this is one way you could use the gratitude jar. And then at the end of the year, you can look at all the different wonderful things that have happened throughout the year. Another way you can use a gratitude jar is you can have different slips of paper in there. You can pull one out and say, oh, okay, I need to thank a teacher this week. Which teacher am I going to thank this week? Or, I'm going to write a letter to a military or service member that I know. Or thank the firefighters and the EMS.
Yeah, for sure. We did that last week.
Yeah, so those are some wonderful things with the gratitude jar that you can do.
You could write me a note for guest hosting. Seems like Nick. Put it in my gratitude jar.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll put it on the counter.
I think we need a studio gratitude jar.
That'd be wonderful. Absolutely.
I have a bunch more questions for you. Well, bunch, that's a little hyperbolic. But I have a few more questions for you, but let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back with Diane Rinner, talk more about the Mindful Families program that she's...
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
At the Capper Auto Group, we put our customers' needs first and understand that everyone is as different as the vehicle they select. We offer new Ford, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram vehicles in a friendly environment that puts you in the driver's seat. When it comes to service, we maintain factory-trained technicians and competitive pricing. The Capper Auto Group still believes that service after the sale provides the best customer experience. Come see the Capper experience for yourself.
Tammy takes the time and has the personal interest in each one of us. I don't worry about what's going to happen because I know my policy is taken care of.
She pulls what I need and puts it together, which is the program I get from her.
Every year she calls around September or so and says, there's changes again, and I'm going to do the best thing for you. It's been perfect. She does a great job.
Welcome back to Washington Live. I'm your host, Todd Patterson. I'm joined in studio by Diane Rinner and, of course, the one and only Nick Steffens. Before we left for break, we were talking about the Mindful Families program, which you are teaching,
Yes.
facilitating.
Yes.
that you've already done once, it sounds like, in
We're
January?
actually ending on Monday night is our last class.
Okay.
And our county is actually piloting for the state. So
Got ya.
they are looking to us at Iowa State University Extension and Outreach, figuring out, what's good about this program and what do we need to change.
Yeah.
So pretty excited about that. Too.
So how many participants did you have?
We had 5 families this time.
great.
So very excited to have, for the first one, 5 families.
Yeah, no, sure, for pilot stuff. And what would be your target?
12 is our max.
Okay.
And so we just opened up registration yesterday for the April session.
Okay.
We already have 2 families signed up for that. So very
and,
excited.
And so will they just Google Mindful Families, Washington County, or how do they do
They
that?
can go to, they can call into the office, at
Okay.
the Washington County Extension office, or they can go to our website. And there's a link on our website
Okay.
for that.
Fantastic.
Or our Facebook page.
Okay, a lot of ways to
A
sign
lot of
up.
ways,
Yeah.
yes.
I assume that's the Iowa State University Extension office, right? That's
Yes.
the website. Okay.
Yes, and the Washington County. Make sure you click Washington County and not another county. Or make sure you're Washington County, Iowa. We've had a few phone calls in for Washington County, Virginia.
I get notices on my email every time Washington County Hospital is mentioned in a news article or anything like that.
Yes.
And there was a Washington County Hospital that closed in Pennsylvania a few years ago. So I came in and the first thing it said was Washington County Hospital plans closure, and I just about fell off my chair.
I bet. I'm sure.
I just had 2 quick questions for you, I guess, to keep us on time. One is, what's the importance of this age group that you're targeting, this 4th through 8th grade?
4th through 8th grade. That we, the Extension Office has, and Iowa State feels that is the age group where we can make the most impact. We wanted to get these tools in their hands younger so that when they start going through junior high, and even when I was in junior high, it was rough. So if you can have more tools in their hands before they get to the tough things in their lives.
You couldn't pay me to go back through junior high.
No, not junior high.
No.
High school is okay. Junior
Later
high
high
was
school.
rough.
Later high school is
Yes,
better.
yes.
And then so one of the things you talk a little bit about that I'm interested in is this notion of being present as one strategy for sort of dealing with some of these stress situations.
What that means is when you are present right here, right now, you're not thinking about the negative things that are going through your mind. You are totally focused on what's going on, and you're not thinking about, oh, I said this, or, oh, do I look okay, or things that kids think about.
Right, yeah, can perseverate about too.
Yes,
Yeah.
or even, oh my gosh, I've got so much pressure. I have got to do well. Our basketball team is in the districts tonight, and just being, all of that. So if you can be present and not have all that negativity, it works well.
Might actually try that.
I'll say I'm 23 and I still
Yeah, well, yeah, I would like to be 23 and learning that.
So would I.
Well, thank you. So I'm gonna have Nick does this thing where he does the National Day, and then we'll guess some birthdays. I assume you've seen that.
I have seen that, and
So you're up against probably one of the worst people for guessing ages.
all right.
So you got a reasonable shot.
oh, that's good.
And as I'm looking at this, I don't know 2 of the 3 of them. So he does this to me every single time. Why can't I get,
Again, it's one of those, all the famous people that were born on this day, they passed away. And so
these aren't famous people. One of them is. The one I know, I could argue.
The last one, Deborah Jo Rupp, you'll know her face.
Okay.
When I put it on the screen, you'll know who it is.
All right. So, all right.
The National Day.
Wow us with the National Day.
National Tartar Sauce Day, which I assume has something to do since it's Lent.
Oh,
That's
yes.
why I
Oh,
assume
that would make sense. Yeah.
That's my assumption.
Tartar sauce is
Oh, I love
one of the
tartar
best
sauce.
things in the world. I am a fanatic about tartar sauce.
What is tartar sauce?
Mayonnaise and relish and probably vinegar. I don't know.
Mixed in together so you can dip your fish in it.
What I like to do is get like a fish stick, put malt vinegar on it, and then dip it in tartar sauce. And that is, I think that's how the Canadians eat it. And I'm not Canadian. I don't want you to think I'm Canadian or anything like that.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do famous birthdays for February 24th.
Yes.
And
apparently are not famous enough for you.
Well, they haven't been lately. I mean, of all the people. So why don't you tell Diane how this works? Then we'll go ahead and do these 3 unfamous people. You might as well get people outside walking around.
So I'm going to put a celebrity whose birthday is today on the screen. You have to guess their age. If you're within 3 years, you get a point. If you get it right on, you get 2 points.
Oh.
First up.
Look at that jacket.
It's a lot. This man is a lot. It's Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Money Mayweather.
Money Mayweather. So if that's the nickname you go with, you're just a lot to begin with.
Yeah. I will take the first shot. Okay.
Okay,
And
you
then
go
you can
first.
have the next one.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 42.
I'm going to say 48.
He is 46. So Dan, get a point to start. Wow. Nothing.
He's not been that far out of fighting though. I mean,
That's what I was thinking too.
didn't he fought within the last 5 years? I can't imagine you'd be 41 and I mean, what are you, George Foreman?
The past
Do you know who he is?
7 years has been.
Him?
He's a boxer.
Yes, I've heard of him.
All right. Well, yeah. So now we get into.
Or that's the.
All right.
That's the
Yeah, I don't know that kid. That kid's young.
This is Daniel Kaluuya, who has been in Get Out, the new movie Nope, Jordan Peele, Black Panther.
Okay.
Yep. Great.
All right.
Go ahead. You got the first shot
I'm going
here.
to say 32.
26.
He is 34. So Todd, you're going down.
Oh my gosh!
Nothing?
I told you I'm terrible at this. At least I don't have a bunch of these trophies at home.
Last one we have is Deborah Jo
Oh yeah,
Rupp on the right
from
side.
That '70s show.
Yeah.
I think she did an episode of Seinfeld back in the day.
She's done a lot of guests. Yeah, a lot of.
She's kind of a character actor.
Yeah, and Friends. I think she also was on that one as well. So. It's your
70.
I was going to say 72.
Well, Todd, you did not get blown out. She is 72. So, Diane, you win 4-1.
You mean I did get blown out?
Well, I meant
I think you
skunked.
have.
Yeah, 0 points.
I don't know if it's a teacher thing
Shutout.
or a turkey farm thing, but
I
you
don't
got a
know.
knack for it. I'll tell you that.
Well,
And thankfully, this wasn't a Davenport versus Bettendorf kind of thing. That could have got ugly.
that could have been very ugly.
All right. Well, I want to thank my guest, Diane Rinner, for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
Yes, absolutely.
Look
Thank
forward
you.
to playing for you guys. And
Yes.
Nick,
Yeah.
thanks for allowing me. Thanks for volunteering me to guest host today. It's always a pleasure. So, from all of us here at the Journal Studio,
Ooh.
not bad. I like the little
I
twist.
like that.
Washington Live. I'm your host, Todd Patterson. Have a great day.